Welcome to another review of 4-Minute Book Review. Today I'm going to talk about the book The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee. As promised, it took me around 3 weeks to complete this book. It's around over 350 pages. So before I get started with the review, just let me know if you want this review in any other languages, because I heard people are interested in Kannada and Telugu. So depending on the comments, I'll try to make the reviews in Telugu as well as Kannada if possible. So coming to the review of The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee, the first and foremost thing, or you have to be cautious about, is to understand the fact versus reality debate. Because see, there are a lot of English novels, or say Western novels, which had these retellings of far more greatest epics like Othello and different books from William Shakespeare. But the prerequisite for all these books is to understand the actual masterpieces and then go with the retelling. So that's what applies here as well, because I personally prefer, if I did understand and if I did knew Mahabharata, then I would pick up this book, The Palace of Illusions, because this is a retelling from the perspective of Draupadi, which is again Panchali. So this book, you have to understand, is to get through Mahabharata first and understand or be aware of Mahabharata as a story, to understand what really happened and what is actually fiction from this book. So Chitra Banerjee takes up starts right from how Panchali or Draupadi is born, and the whole childhood is, I personally feel it's fictionalized, because I did not read it anywhere or personally have instances where I've read Panchali or Draupadi's childhood. And how she was born, I agree, because I heard at least stories that how she was born, but not her childhood and how it was. And maybe I might be wrong, but I do really feel I did not hear the instances, because it's not totally from Mahabharata, right? So Mahabharata is completely, like, again, Panchali is part of Mahabharata, but not all her life is in Mahabharata, right? So that's where I think you should always understand what is fictionalized and what is imagined from the author's perspective while writing the book from the perspective of Panchali. And after the childhood, it straight away pans to her life, how she got married, and how Karna was insulted in the court, where he was a chariot son and he was insulted, and then she marries Arjuna, and Kunti says that you have to, whatever comes has to be divided among their brothers, and all the story after that is narrated from Panchali's perspective, right? So I would personally advise you to read or be aware of Mahabharata before picking this book, because that's the prerequisite to understand like what happened really and what is reimagined again, as I told it in the start of the video. So why would you want to pick up this book? There's no one particular answer, because I picked up because I wanted to know from just how others think of Mahabharata from feminist point of view. Yeah, there are points where feminist point of view or strong woman characters, both Kunti, Gandhari and Panchali, that's it, how they are portrayed as strong women. I get that. But applying those feminist principles these modern principles of feminists to those period is somewhat kind of like applying outdated principle, which there was a lot of other laws which prevailed during Mahabharata, right? And you can't really apply all those feminist laws there. And not that there are a lot of things hidden in this book where there's agenda or propaganda against, but still I would like to see it as that period of drama rather than me modernizing it. But again, that's again very personal to me, because I wouldn't like to modernize an epic or a perspective. But I really respect the perspective of the author, because I shouldn't, just because it's my personal thing, I wouldn't want to put someone into saying that it's wrong to have a perspective, or from her point of view she might be right as well. So again, perspective is very personal to a lot of people. So for me, this book is probably another extension to Mahabharata, or say I was keen to read about Panchali's life. Maybe it happened, it did not happen, again we don't know. But if you're really interested in mythology, I would like to say that please explore this book if you can, and you can form your own opinions reading this book. And yes, so let me know what you think after reading, or what is your retake, or what is your perspective on retelling. Should there actually be any retellings? Because it might be a misconception that people think this is the ultimate reality or the ultimate fact that happened. That's why I want you to be really cautious as a reader, and especially. So that's what I think, and I would rate this to be around 3 stars out of 5, because I think originals are always original. I might not agree with a lot of perspective which is shown from Panchali's perspective right from the author's note. Let me know what you think about this book, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and let me know if you need any reviews in particular language. Especially I'm comfortable with Telugu and Kannada. So thank you for watching, and please do like, share and subscribe, and